Okay, recording's on. Thank you. So promoting sexual health, we are going to go over Unit 12, which is body image. So the ability to enjoy one's body and the bodies of others is an essential aspect of how sexuality is experienced. Appreciating how our body looks and what it can do can be the source of personal pride, esteem, and well-being. Now, while abilities and appearance varies a great deal, everyone has assets associated with their body. Body image describes a complex relationship that can include a number of components. Now, some of the components that make up body image are identity, esteem, cultural mores, health issues, and sexuality. Researchers who study body image have reliably found that women are generally less satisfied with their appearance than men. However, researchers Caffrey and Thomas, 2004, have documented a dramatic increase in the number of men who report body image problems, making it a relevant issue for both genders. Now, more recent research shows that body image concerns may be particularly elevated for gay men who experience greater body self-consciousness than heterosexual men or lesbian women. So bodies and image. Our bodies represent ourselves in the world we live in. Our experience as a sexual being in this body is an aspect of sexuality that is very alive for most people. Yet it is also very rare for people to talk openly with others, even with their best friends or sexual partners, about how they truly feel about their bodies and what they do with their bodies, sexually speaking. So some people obsess or feel very bad about how their body works, how their body looks or doesn't look, or what it does or doesn't do. And while many people feel good or proud about how some or all of their body parts look, they may feel as though it's not socially acceptable to say positive things about their own body for fear of seeming to be conceited or to be bragging. This is particularly true for women. And research has found, for example, that even young girls in the 4th and 5th grade will openly talk about what they perceive to be the bad aspects of their body or about a desire to diet or lose weight. Researchers Dalton and Tigman found that a large majority of girls as young as age 6 years old desire a thinner ideal body figure. Now, this same study also found that girls who looked at magazines and aimed at adult women had greater dissatisfaction with their appearance than girls who were not exposed to that material. Now, given how important our bodies and our image are to our sexuality, it is too bad that talking about how we feel about our body, the enjoyment it provides, and our enjoyment of other people's bodies is among the most taboo areas for open discussion. So sometimes even very intimate partners don't talk openly about these topics with each other. So body image can be thought of as how a person thinks about their body in terms of how it looks to oneself and how it looks to others, how it feels, or how it works. A person's body image can be influenced by many factors, including family messages, media influence, physical abilities and challenges, age and aging, perception of personal power, health status, sports involvement, feedback from others, and overall self-esteem and feelings of worth. So some of us may be able to relate to that, especially family. I believe we're harder on ourselves with our family than anything else. Before you get out in the world, you got to know about the family that's talking about your ears and how you are thin or how you are thick. It happens. We all have some form, some more than others. So we're going to go to the second chapter in Unit 12, Body Image and Sexual Health. I did read all that in detail because I just thought it was so key for the connection.
Right.
So our body image can affect our sexual health in a number of ways. So at a very basic level, even for the youngest children, Those who know the proper names and function of their body parts and who have clear ideas about the privacy of their own bodies will better equipped to respond to an incident of inappropriate touch. Oh my gosh. Okay. Information is power, especially when information is about our bodies. So having ideas about the many different ways that normal looks can be a big asset towards healthy sexuality. Adolescence is a time when growth and development varies so much, and young people really benefit from knowing there is a wide range of what is normal. Since many women do not have opportunities to see other women's vulvas very closely, they have no idea that how vulvas look varies widely among females. So without a context for the variations that exist, it's hard to have an opinion about yourself that is either informed or positive. So there's some book references for that. Having comfort and familiarity with our body encourages routine self-exams and risk reduction. If there's a great discomfort or negative reaction to seeing or touching or talking about your genitals or a partner's genitals or other body parts, it is possible that important aspects of health promotion will be avoided or ignored. Yeah, you're not going to want to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Confidence. Confidence and skill can be increased when there is a positive body image. When you feel good about how your body looks and how it responds is very much related to our knowing what is pleasurable for us sexually. So when we know how to create pleasure for ourselves, we can show partners how to do so as well. Now, how we feel about our body may influence what behaviors we engage in and whether we leave the lights on and our eyes open when we engage sexually. So teens in one study reported casual attitudes and willingness to engage in oral sex, since you don't even have to get naked to do it. So for many years, in an effort to avoid getting a pelvic exam from a healthcare provider, due in large part for concern. Okay, wait. Let me start over. For many years, in an effort to avoid getting a pelvic exam from a healthcare provider, due in large part to concerns that they have related to body image and privacy, many women did not have access to one of the most effective forms of contraceptives, the birth control pill. They avoided using a highly effective method because they wanted to avoid the exam. In response to this feedback and the reality that indications for oral contraception include health conditions not identified through a pelvic exam, age, depression, headaches, weight, and smoking. Now, hormonal contraception is now available without a pelvic exam in many clinics throughout the United States. So negative self-talk can reinforce negative beliefs about our body, how sexy or lovable we are, or how worthy of pleasure we might be. Now, all of these can interrupt sexual response. If we expect problems with our capacity to respond sexually, we are likely to experience problems. Self-doubt and depression that can arise from comparing ourselves to cultural sex symbols can leave us feeling less aroused. Now, inhibitions based on negative body image and the inability to present during sexual interaction can occur when body image is negative. Now, this can lead to a phenomenon known as spectatoring, where someone mentally removes themselves from a sexual interaction to view their own performance or image. Now, this typically is not conducive to connecting with a partner, since one is removed from the situation mentally or enjoying the sexual experience, since often the viewing is with judgment about how things look. Wow, spectatoring is a term for it. Now, unrealistic standards of idealized beauty impact self-esteem and health in many ways. So constant messages tell most people they are not enough, not pretty enough, slim enough, full enough, muscular enough, blonde enough, ethnic enough, tall enough, petite enough. We hear this from media messages that seek to sell products and services that will address all the ways we can improve how we look. In this, and in many ways, narrow cultural definitions of what is attractive work against people. So we're going to go to our bodies and our sexual selves. So our sexuality relates to how we feel about our body in many ways. Throughout our lives, mostly without even being aware of it, we receive messages about how we're doing at being the sexual self that we each are. With this comes interactions and messages that leaves us with ideas and perhaps many questions. Am I worthy of love and pleasure? Have the feelings and messages about my body and pleasure been colored by feelings of shame or guilt? Is it safe to be myself? Over time, we develop our sense of self-esteem based on this feedback, among other things. Now, our decision-making is impacted by our perception of choices and opportunities available to us, and relates to our perception of self-worth. Do I feel I have many or few choices? Am I valuable or not? Positive expectations about your future can have a positive impact on your sexual decision making. So as we understand and buy into cultural expectations about what is sexy, we may change our body in small and major ways. Everything from how we dress or use of cosmetics and other beauty products. Now, our posture, our movements, our body hair, our styles, our jewelry, and of course, more permanent modifications such as cosmetic surgery. Now, the evolution of how we respond to what is considered attractive can be viewed by examining body hair acceptance over time. So for women, especially over the past several decades, most engage in some form of body hair grooming or removal. So a study by Teigman and Hodgson in 2008 found that 96% of women regularly remove their leg and underarm hair and give reasons of femininity and attractiveness. Now, in more recent years, this hair removal has come to include removing increasingly amounts of pubic hair as well. Though we don't have good research statistics on how much this has changed, as researchers in previous decades didn't collect data on this topic. So in this same study, 60% of women removed at least some of, hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, there we go. Women who remove some or all of their pubic hair indicated it is to feel more sexually attractive and for self-enhancement purposes. So women who have partnered have increased frequency and amount of pubic hair removal. And more recently still, more men are removing their body and pubic hair as well. So primary reasons men stated were to feel more attractive, to make genitals appear larger, and to increase sensation and pleasure. Thank you, ladies, for joining in. What has been striking too is how body hair grooming practices vary by sexual identity. So for example, in a study, nearly 500 bisexual, lesbian, and heterosexual women, researchers found that heterosexual women were significantly more likely to remove body hair compared to lesbian and bisexual women. Heterosexual women were also significantly more likely to use makeup compared to bisexual women, and lesbian women had the lowest use of makeup. So beyond trimming and removing pubic hair, interest is the visual beauty of one's genitals. It is rarer for females to see other same-sex genitalia at different stages of development than it is for men and boys. So this is due to increased privacy among women's and girls' bathrooms. It is also because women's genitals are by nature more hidden than men's genitals. So even when women are naked in front of each other, such as when they are changing, very little of their genitals are visible to other women. As such, many women have never seen another woman's vulva, and so they may not realize the wide variations of vulvas and that there is no one standard look. Without the context of a wide variety of how vulvas and penises appear, it is difficult for some people to know what is normal looking. Yet feeling normal and beautiful is crucial to strong self-esteem. Now, knowing that there are variations in appearance of genitals and that we need not feel shame about any of our body is an important step towards sexual well-being. So as a part of our sexual development, we gain a sense of who we are as a sexual being and our ability to use sex to manipulate others. So whether it is the darling flirtation of a small child who only wants to get his or her way, or the driver that turns on the charm of the police officer to avoid a traffic ticket. That hasn't worked for me. But we learn we can use our sex appeal in our favor. As researchers, Langlois and colleagues put it, attractiveness is a significant advantage for both children and adults in almost every domain of judgment, treatment, and behavior. So it is helpful to be considered attractive. People attribute many positive attributes to people who they consider attractive. This is called the halo effect and allows a level of privilege to those who are deemed attractive by cultural standards over those who are considered to be less attractive. The halo effect. Okay. Of course, people aren't really smarter or nicer or better at sex just because they are attractive, but it is a common perception that they are. To the extent that flirting and seduction are invited and welcome, it is a fun aspect of sexuality. Now, using your sexuality to manipulate others may sadly be a case of survival in some cases. So for those who are homeless or have few alternatives available, their body may be among their very few assets available. So typically, if things are going well, we feel pretty good about our bodies. Our ability to enjoy pleasure, sexual feelings, and response has a great impact on how we feel about our body. Unfortunately, the experience of having a sexual problem for several months during the previous year is far too common. 43% of women and 31% of men report having experienced a sexual problem for several months during the past year. Now, this includes lack of sexual desire and inability to have an orgasm. Changes in desire due to medication or illness can cause loss of interest in this aspect or self in relationships and can become part of a broader trend toward low regard and attention to the self in holistic ways. Of course, the opposite is always possible as well. Limits or changes in capacity can create shifts in how we relate to ourself or partner to keep our sexual self alive, regardless of behavior and performance changes. So where we are with our sexuality at any time in our life can influence how it relates our body image. A woman may never think about her uterus unless she's pregnant or wants to be pregnant and is having trouble conceiving. Similarly, a woman might not normally think about her ovaries, but would start thinking about them if cancer was found in one. As we age and our experience with sexuality becomes richer and longer, and we have more opportunity to learn about ourselves, which can be a very beneficial aspect of aging. Now, how our bodies look and respond sexually changes over our lifetime, and this also affects our feelings about our body and the changes. So for some women, the end of fertility or menopause may create a feeling of being less sexy, But for other women, this may represent the end of worrying about pregnancy, resulting in a new freedom and enjoyment to their sexuality. So people who are transgender there may initially experience some difficulty or inability to relate to their genitals or body overall. However, many trans people who choose to transition using hormones and or surgery and or other body modifications and or who have strong support from their families or friends find that they can move from a place of gender dysphoria, which is feeling distressed about their gender in relation to their body, to gender euphoria, feeling happy about their bodies aligned with their gender. So for example, one study of 281 trans feminine individuals found their hair removal services, electrolysis, and laser hair reduction resulted in overall less distress and greater overall well-being. Additionally, part of the political movement among the intersex community in more recent years has been to decrease cosmetic surgery not chosen by the intersex person. That is, well-intentioned caretakers and family members are ill-advised to assign a gender during early childhood for cosmetic reasons. As adults, all people have a sense of their sexual self, and the idea is that time they should decide about the look of their genitals and body, since it is a lifelong change with a lasting impact. So we're going to go to section 4, which is gender, culture, and body image. Gender and culture have a major influence, right? Gender, culture, religion. However, let's go. The relentless saturation of messages about being somehow wrong, unclean, the wrong size, the wrong shape, too old, too young, etc., sinks in over time. If we hear it enough, we believe even the craziest ideas. Someone who views her or himself as unattractive will likely perceive less choice about potential partners and the power and choice available. Now, growing up with or periods of exposure to messages that indicate either you or certain body parts are dirty, or that you aren't capable or lovable as a person, leaves us feeling bad about ourselves. Even if we initially disagree with a negative evaluation, if it is what we hear and perhaps all we hear, it sinks in. Life circumstances can include poverty, institutionalized racism, and violence in homes, and leave too many people feeling disenfranchised with little hope for opportunities for success. Now, feeling empowered as a being creates interest and risk reduction. Feeling lovable and capable attributes to being healthy. So the media plays a critical role in shaping perceptions of female attractiveness and desirability. So many women and girls have harsh judgments about themselves and how others look. From young ages, girls have unrealistic expectations of body size and beauty. As many as 1 in 3 pre-adolescent girls are trying to lose weight, and 1 in 10 shows symptoms of an eating disorder. Disordered eating has become the 3rd most chronic adolescent illness. Now, ongoing exposure to unrealistically thin and beautiful models and celebrities increases body obsession and eating and exercising disorders. Gill and colleagues of 2005 have acknowledged that more recently, the male body has become increasingly visible and sexualized, and they note that men's bodies are on display as never before, from the muscular heroes to the cinematic action genre, to the six-packs whose grace the covers of Men's Health and the super wafts of contemporary style magazines. Just as Barbie doll does not represent a realistic body for a human female, neither does the action figure G.I. Joe represent a human male. When introduced in 1964, this action figure was comparable in proportions to an actual human. In the 1990s, Joe was transformed and his biceps are now the size of his waist, which is no longer a form consistent with the shape of an actual human man. Increasingly, men and boys are becoming a more critical about how their bodies look. And sadly, many are turning to the same unhealthy responses as some women. An additional threat is posed when men and bodybuilders use steroids in an effort to bulk up their body and increase their overall mass. Cosmetic surgery and other body modifications traditionally left to women are more common among males now. So Atkinson in 2008 documented the audible increase in cosmetic surgery among men. And hey, somebody come get him. Sorry, y'all. Where's my recording? Hold on. I'll pause the recording. Resume recording. Okay. So, of course, there are noticeable differences in what some groups find attractive generally as a part of their broader cultural influences. Black women are less likely to buy into the narrow views of idealized beauty, particularly in terms of body shape, than are women of other races. This is likely related to an appreciation for fuller and more curvaceous female figures within the Black culture. Body modification. So changing the size from shape or firmness of a body parts, like making smaller feet, longer necks, cinched waists, and stretched earlobes to conform to cultural standards of beauty, is a long-standing tradition for many cultures. Perhaps the first body modification for many male babies or boys in the United States and some other countries is male circumcision. In this procedure, the foreskin is removed surgically from the glands of the penis. Some believe this is a necessary procedure done solely for cosmetic reasons and is considered male genital mutilation. Now, there is a range for what is practiced from no circumcision to performing circumcision near the time of the birth, to ceremonial circumcision practices tied to religious beliefs or rites of passage to manhood, which are usually performed during adolescence. At an extreme end of willingness and drive to conform to culture, expectations of beauty is the practice of female genital cutting, sometimes called the female genital mutilation, which is still in practice in some parts of the world. Now, this practice of cutting and sewing various parts of the vulva leaves girls and women scarred and forever changed. Female genital cutting does not always have negative side effects or complications. However, sometimes it does result in great harm, illness, and even the death of girls and women. Whew. The culture in which it is practiced believes that this is to look of beautiful female genitals, and the often ritualistic procedure is symbolic and nearly unavoidable for young girls. The World Health Organization has formally opposed the practice of female genital cutting, though it remains a controversial practice in some parts of the world. In addition, the fact that female cosmetic surgery, such as the tightening of a woman's vagina or the surgical removal of part of a woman's vaginal lips to make them smaller, this increasing in the United States has brought even more controversy to the topic of what happens to female genitals in different parts of the world and for different cultural reasons. How do people modify their bodies? Tremendous resources, including time, effort, and money, are targeted toward keeping our bodies in shape and tone. The diet and exercise industry is thriving and still a relatively new industry. Growth over the past 3 decades is enormous. Efforts to look good keep us distracted from other affairs of the world at voluminous levels. Tattoos, brandings, piercings, implants, dyes, and other permanent body modifications are increasingly apparent. These body modifications are becoming more common and range from simple and subtle to full body changes and can be quite dramatic. All needles for tattooing and piercing and surgical supplies must be sterile to avoid possible infection from shared blood. Cosmetic surgery. It is on the rise. While the age of cosmetic surgery patients is declining, women have increasingly been accessing female genital cosmetic surgery procedures that have recently become popularized in the mainstream. So based on Braun's 2005 research, some of these procedures include labiaplasty, labioplasty, labia minora which are labia minora reductions, labia majoral augmentations or tissue removal, fat injections, liposuction on mons pubis and labia majoral, vaginal tightening, which are fat injections, surgical tightening. And then they have clitoral hood reductions, clitoral repositioning, G-spot amplification, which is a collagen injection into the G-spot, which produces swelling. Oh my goodness, just get some GPS. And hymen reconstruction to restore the appearance of virginity. Wow. There are few body parts that have avoided the scalpel and become fodder for the improvement bandwagon. Unfortunately, complications from surgery, including deaths, are also on the rise. Among the complications that might be experienced is the impact of unrealistic life changes due to expectations based on a new look. So recent reality shows that feature personal makeovers underscore the vulnerability that comes from the obsession for beauty. The extremeness of the makeovers has become all too commonplace. Sometimes we modify our body's ability through skill building, training, and practice. Now, this can increase our capacity to build or change what our body does and can do, not just how it works. So some training, like weight training, can change how our body looks and feels. So they got the definitions here for female genital cutting. So you have the circumcision, clitoraldectomy, and genital infibulation. So chapter 6 on unit 12, promoting positive body image. So resist urges to feel you need to look better somehow. This can be challenging for most people, but to avoid body image trauma, one must avoid mainstream media and seek alternative media sources. Celebrate beauty in its many forms. Try to openly make positive remarks about the beauty of people who are diverse in terms of age, body type, race, ethnicity, height, weight, and shape. Watch your language, including self-talk or what goes on between your ears. Don't criticize yourself. Comments you make about others may impact how your partner or your children feel about themselves and others. Remember, your body size is one part of who we are. Keep it in perspective. This one aspect does not determine anyone's worth. Encourage healthy weight, not idealized weight. We know yo-yo dieting or repeated losing and regaining is especially dangerous. Moderation is generally the best approach. So to support those with eating and exercise disorders, don't focus on food with them. For those who are compulsive exercisers, try not to focus on activity or how much they are exercising. For these disorders, it is about control and power or reducing anxiety, not the food or exercise. Identify and teach about media manipulation. Teach critical thinking skills. It is important to realize the media images are not real. Image technology such as Photoshop, social media image filters creates the appearance of perfection that does not exist. As described earlier, research also shows that exposure to edited and filtered social media that make people look perfect, if you will, can also have a negative impact on viewers' self-esteem and body image. Now, this can be particularly difficult for teenagers. Now, if you need a break from social media, by all means, take it. So I do know that there are people who have a hard time presenting themselves or even doing pictures or posts without the filters. That is real. And they're not just talking about teenagers. Know the problems of a poor body image and talk about it. Don't tolerate discrimination based on appearance. Use your voice to name and confront discrimination in size tolerance. Focus on function, what your body can do for you. Be powerful, train, and exercise. Focusing on what we can do and not how we look is helpful against media and culture messages about narrow ideas of beauty. Teach the unique value of each person, celebrate the diversity that exists, and in the end, some of us will be large people. This is not the worst thing that could happen. Everyone can have a rich and rewarding life. Whether or not this is true is based more on your perception of yourself than your weight. So talk about sexuality, empowered with knowledge, accurate terminology, communication, and decision-making skills, we are all better positioned to expect and appreciate variations in people. This is the last chapter in Unit 12. So 10 tips for self-esteem enhancement. Here we go. 1, identify and challenge negative feelings and thoughts you have about yourself and other women. Women with low self-esteem often are critical of other women, thereby contributing to the problem in a larger sense. 2, examine and challenge critical self-messages and the origins of these messages, many times from a critical parent. 3, build up large repertoire of positive feelings and thoughts about yourself and repeat them daily, even if you do not believe them yet. That's like affirmations, especially when you look in the mirror and say them. Takes a lot, but it'll get you where you're going. 4, practice assertive behavior. Don't be wishy-washy. 5, learn to set limits and boundaries on what you will and will not do, what you will not tolerate from others, and what you expect from others. 6, enhance your ability to practice effective communication. Don't have the stuff going on in your head and don't communicate it verbally with others, right? 7, enhance your problem-solving and decision-making abilities. 8, learn to filter out and ignore stereotypical messages from other folks and the media about body image preferences and gender role expectations. 9, avoid the temptation to be the martyr. Learn to delegate responsibilities so that you have more time for yourself. 10, participate in activities that challenge you to grow and contribute to a sense of self-competency and personal power. So disordered eating and exercise. Disordered eating and exercise is a product of hyper concern about one's body image. Sadly, the self-concepts of those who suffer from these conditions is not reality-based and includes excessive behavior that can be life-threatening. Hold on, let's see. So we have anorexia nervosa. It is a form of disordered eating that involves starving oneself. Someone with this condition views herself to be much bigger than she actually is. She has a fear of eating and gaining weight that is irrational. Now, no matter how ultra thin she becomes, she continues to have very limited food and nourishment intake in order to become always thinner. No weight or size, not even one close to starvation, satisfies the desire to be thinner. Women with this condition cease having menstrual periods. Though less common than in women, men also have anorexia. Anorexia can have a severe impact on a woman's sexual function, as it can greatly impair hormonal function, such as functioning of the ovaries. This can result in a decreased sex drive and lack of vaginal lubrication, even among young women. Women who stop having menstrual periods due to anorexia may also become infertile. Though if they return to a healthy body weight and begin menstruating again, they can likely restore their fertility. Then you have bulimia. Bulimia is an eating disorder that involves binging on sometimes very large amounts of food, followed by vomiting to purge the food and calories from the body. Nourishment is also lost, making malnourishment a threat. Digestive acids can create dental and mouth problems in those who suffer from bulimia. Bulimia is an extreme method to maintain or achieve thinness and is very dangerous. Disordered exercise. This involves overemphasized or strenuous or dangerous levels of methods of exercise. Now, an obsessive view about not exercising underscores this disorder. Sometimes this is combined with disordered eating to achieve athletic performance or other weight and body size standards. Jockeys, wrestlers, models, and ballet dancers are examples of those situational weight restrictions may cause extreme and dangerous disordered exercising. So steroids are synthetic versions of the male hormone testosterone. Combining steroids with vigorous workout and bodybuilding routines can result in rapid body mass increase and can be very dangerous. Then you have muscle dysmorphia. It is a condition where a bodybuilder views him or herself as very puny, even though that may not be the case. Regardless of the bulk the bodybuilder achieves, he or she feels small and weak. So we have made it through all the units. Are you all ready to do the quiz?
So muscle dysmorphia is like,
but we got to get on task.
like your muscles.
So the interactive activity. So I did discover it is essential for us to complete the course. So I'm going to read through. This one has 5 different activities in order to make this unit complete. So it has here, consider the following activities as a journal assignment. So each day for 5 days this week, consider one of the questions below. Now you may complete these questions in whatever order best suits your schedule, but please do them on separate days to allow sufficient time to reflect on each throughout the day. Do not rush through these. Each response should be about 2 to 4 paragraphs long. Did you know that, Audrey and Jasmine and Toya? Okay. Please type your response in the text boxes, save your responses, and then submit the last page when you have completed the assignment. Once you have submitted your responses, Dr. Herbenek or Dr. Reese will log in and grade your assignment so that you can proceed to the next unit. Day 1. Spend time looking through women's magazines, whether they are magazines you have in your home or magazine, you see in the grocery store or doctor's office, or magazines at a local public library. Try to find one magazine aimed at teenage girls, one aimed at young women such as Cosmo or Glamour, and one aimed at more mature women such as the Oprah magazine, Working Mother, or Ladies' Home Journal. What types of bodies do each of these magazines promote? How do these tackle issues of body image through articles, if at all, such as by encouraging women to embrace their bodies or making women feel self-conscious or embarrassed about their bodies? How does this vary by the age group that is targeted, teens, young adult, or mature adults? That's section 1. Section 2. Day 2, what types of social media do you use? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. How are bodies represented on these social media platforms? How do images you see on these social media sites make you feel about your body? To what extent do you find yourself choosing to avoid certain social media because how they make you feel about your body? Inspired, motivated, depressed, insecure, etc. Maximum 400 characters. Today, make note of how you feel about your own body. What helps you to feel good about your body throughout the day? What causes you to feel bad about your body throughout the day? What are there certain types of influence that make you pay more attention to than others? Are there some that you tune out or block out because they feel they are negative or not helpful? And how do you personally try to foster a positive body image for yourself? Day 4. Today, consider how you might play a role in shaping another body's image Another's body image in your daily life. Do you tend to make fun of people such as friends, family, and celebrities for the weight, body type, or appearance? Or do you give compliments to friends, family, or coworkers about their body or their appearance? In what ways do you currently feel you may be influencing how people feel about their body? In what ways, if any, would you like to make changes in how you interact with others about bodies and body image? And then there's 5. Today, consider body modification. Some people change their body by dyeing their hair. Others modify their body by piercing their ears, genitals, navels, and other parts by getting a tattoo or having a plastic surgery or cosmetic injections such as Botox. Some people choose temporary body modifications such as makeup or hair dye, and others choose permanent body modifications. What types of body modifications are you comfortable talking about? What types of body modifications make you uncomfortable? Or do you feel you might want to learn more about that so you can more easily deal with all types of individuals in your work as a sexuality educator? If you are comfortable with all types of body modifications, what philosophy or feelings do you think have made you feel comfortable with everyone regardless of what they do to their body? Make sure you hit save my answer. So somehow, if you don't submit or something, those answers will still be there. It is very key for you to hit save my answer before you hit submit. If you do this in parts, each section, click save my answer. You want to do submit after you've done all 5 days.
I have a question.
As you can see, I have not. And then you have the quiz. All right. So only about one out of 10 of women experienced sexual problems lasting several months in the previous year. Is that true or false?
True.
Hold on, let me see something.
I think Jasmine had a question.
Hold on. Can you still see the test screen?
Yeah.
Or you see my email, Audrey?
Your screen, your quiz screen, but I think Jasmine had a question.
Well, I can't hear you. Or you, Jasmine? I can see y'all changing, but I can't hear you.
Hello.
I got 4 participants and I can't hear nobody. I'm glad y'all joined me, but I don't know what's. And I don't know how to fix the audio. I didn't change anything, so I would have thought it would be the same. Now where's my test? Okay, only about 1 in 10 women experience sexual problems lasting several months in a previous year. All right, I can't wait for you guys to answer. So we're going to say true or false. We're going to say false. The media's portrayal of unrealistically thin and beautiful models seem to have an impact on your girls' perceptions of themselves, result in disordered eating and body obsession. True or false?
True.
True. Body image issues only affect women. Uh-oh, I can hear you. Body image issues only affect women, and they do not affect men. True or false?
False.
Let's say false, okay? 4, people's perceptions of their body image can have an impact on their health in which of the following ways? Having a negative body image may prevent people from engaging in prevention or health promoting behaviors. Body image can impact people's self-esteem. Having a positive view of one's body can increase confidence, or all of the above describes ways body image can impact health.
Your screen's not moving.
Yo, it's frozen. It's still on number 2.
Why? Okay. Is it unfrozen yet? No?
Well,
This is not your.
I don't even know what to do though. Like troubleshooting and
can you like make the screen go to sleep and then wake it back up or something?
let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing. Can you see me? Did it stop screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
I like that birthday.
Oh, thank you. My 11-year-old did my makeup. This is my day to promise her that she can do my
Wow.
makeup. I don't wear makeup often, maybe 3 times a year.
It's good though. It's
Yes.
good.
She's a
Yes.
little makeup artist.
Yes.
They be watching YouTube now. They know something.
Yep. And the other thing is tonight I'm doing the game show with Angela.
Oh yes.
I'll put on my little pretty dress. Yes. So make sure you ladies tune in. This is gonna be interesting, and hopefully I'll embarrass myself. Okay, people's perception of their body image can have an impact on their health in which of the following ways? Is having a negative body image may prevent people from engaging in prevention or health promoting behaviors. Is it 2, body image can impact people's self-esteem? Is it 3, having a positive view of one's body can increase confidence? Or is it 4, all of the above describes?
All of the above.
Yes, all of the above describes ways body image can impact health. Okay, 5. How does body image impact sexuality? So is it negative talk encourages people to be sexual with their partners? Of course not. Cultural sex symbols which idealize beauty give women something to strive for sexually. Trying to stay mentally present in a sexual situation can help individuals connect with their partners, or all of the above describe how body image impacts sexuality.
All of the
That one.
So we're gonna go with try to stay mentally present in a sexual situation can help individuals connect with their partners. So remember we talked about those people that like tune out and they use the term for kind of watching themselves and determining how well they're acting, and then they forget to connect. 6, people attribute many positive attributes to people who they consider attractive, and this is called sex appeal, the halo effect, sexual attractiveness, or none of the above. This is one
The
that
halo effect.
Yes, it's the one that wowed me. I didn't know it was a term for it. Okay, 7. In the recent years, part of the political movement among the intersex community has been to 1, push to allow caretakers and family members to assign gender during early childhood, push for a decrease in cosmetic surgery to assign gender, which has not been chosen by the intersex person, or allow doctors to assign gender for cosmetic reasons, or none of the above accurately describes any part of political movement among the intersex community. So this one we would say is a push for a decrease in cosmetic surgery to assign gender, which has not been chosen by the intersex person. Okay, 8. Genital infibulation or clitoridectomy are 2 forms of sterilization birth control options for women. Female genital cutting.
Female genital cutting.
Yes, it's not penile circumcision, and it's not surgeries to treat undistended bladder or uterus issues. It is female genital cutting. All right, 9. At what age did researchers find young girls desiring a thinner ideal body figure?
5.
Yeah, it was actually 6. At first I thought it was by grade, but I thought they had said it by grade, but it's age.
Well,
It's
the
age
statistics
6.
have gone up then, because
Say that again.
I'm surprised because it seems the statistics have gotten higher, because when I was doing research in it back in college, girls by the age of like 5 to 6 were already talking about how they were dissatisfied with the way they looked because they wanted to be thinner.
Yes. So it's I forget what year this our text referred to. You know how they had some stuff in 2008, some different years. So your research could have been on something more present in like 2012 or 14. You know what I mean? I don't know if you noticed some of the references in here are like 2008 and 2005. So I could see that though.
Yeah, my research was around like 2013. So
yeah. Which of the following is not something that a person's body image can be influenced by? So right, family messages, age or aging, health status, or none of the above. There we go. None of the above. What is the reason women gave to researchers for removing pubic hair? Was it irritability, fashion, sexual attractiveness, or sexual pleasure?
Sexual attractiveness.
Yep. Yep. Sorry. What was one of the reasons that was associated with willingness to seek cosmetic surgery in men? Was it low self-esteem, relationship status, income, or none of the above?
None of the above.
Why would guys want to get cosmetic surgery? Low self-esteem.
I was gonna say that one.
Yep. Low self-esteem. Okay. 13. This term refers to an eating disorder that involves binging on sometimes very large amounts of food, allowed by vomiting to purge the food. Yes, it's the bulimia nervosa. That is correct. So this term refers to a condition where a bodybuilder views him or herself as very puny, even though that may not be the case. Is that
Muscle
dysmorphia.
Yes, not anorexia, not disordered exercise, but muscle dysmorphia. And 15, this term refers to a form of disordered eating that involves starving oneself. Someone with this condition.
Anorexia nervosa.
Yes, this condition views herself to be much bigger than she actually is, which means there is no thin that will actually please her. No matter how small she gets, she needs thinner. He or she needs to be thinner, thinner, and thinner. Anorexia nervosa. We're going to go ahead and hit submit and just verify that all these are correct. 1 is correct. 2. So for those who didn't see my screen at first, we can follow through. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. We got 15 out of 15. You can get 100% score. Just watch our video, right? All right. So really quick, while I have the screen up, I want you all to see that you can go to your dashboard. If you have not seen me do this, you want to go to your dashboard and look at your study progress. Click more, and it's going to tell you per unit what is considered complete. Unit 1 should have the lesson complete, activity complete, and you should have a final score for your quiz. You all see this? And this is going to make up your percentage. In order to be 100% complete, we would have to go back through and do, for example, I have unit 12, 13, and 14 of, what is that, activities to do. And then I have 2 more quizzes to do before I can get that 100%. So I know that I'm going to work on those five parts of the activity right away. So I can do one tonight and do one in the morning, right? That's 2 different days.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we do all of the entries in like one day just to knock it out for time purposes?
I believe you can. They're telling you try not to do it like that. So they recommend that you don't do it like that so that you can reflect. But I haven't seen that there was something inhibiting your response being submitted at the same time. One, remember, we have to submit them at the same time anyway. You know how you fill in the answers and you have to save it? You can't even hit submit till they're all there anyway. So I don't see why not.
Okay.
Because you're not submitting them to the same time. So since they're going to be submitted together, whether it's today, tomorrow, whatever day, go ahead and put all your answers in and submit them. Yeah. So far, I hadn't seen anything that would interrupt that. All right.
Super.
Thank you for getting on with me. I'm going to go ahead and get this recording uploaded. And so now we're caught up so that we can do Monday, 13 and 14.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.